Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel in the first place. Today we have a Kirishima ex-listener. It's Thunderstorm by F4UNN4 on AO3. The link will be in the description. Go check them out, and let's go ahead and get into it. Dark clouds rolled over the sky as the sun fell beneath the horizon. You walked steadily down the familiar road as your hands tightly gripped your book bag straps. You had been nervous the past few days walking home. You used to laugh and joke around, but now you keep your eyes averted down, trying to hide your red face. Kirishima walked silently beside you, thinking that you did not want to talk to him today either. He noticed you had started distancing yourself from him, and whenever he tried to talk to you, you would never look him in the eyes anymore, and you would always try and run away. It made him sad in a way. After all, he was in love with you. But he knew respecting your choices was manlier than bothering you with his unnecessary words. It looks like it might rain soon, he said out loud, trying to break the awkwardness. While you watched the big gray clouds move in, covering the scarlet sky in a blanket of darkness, Kirishima looked up and simply hummed in agreement, feeling like you felt bad for him and just said something random. A small droplet of water fell from the angry clouds, another and another, until it was pouring cats and dogs. Kirishima immediately put aside his stubborn feelings, and without hesitation, he grabbed your hand, intertwining his fingers with yours, and pulled you along with him, and he ran through the rain. You barely registered what was happening before you were being tugged along as the cold rain soaked through your thin school uniform. Yet Kirishima's hand was still warm in yours. Your heart started pounding from the adrenaline and the fact you were holding his hand. He quickly pulled you under the soft yellow light of the bus stop as the rain became muffled over the shelter roof. I swear I checked the weather this morning. It was supposed to be clear skies all day. I knew I should have brought my umbrella just in case. Kirishima huffed out while trying to catch his breath. You laughed softly, trying to shake the water off your arms, still feeling the lingering tingles in your hand where he held you. Wait, here, let me. He pulled his bag off his back before unzipping the top and reaching in before pulling out what seemed to be a blue jacket. He sat down on the metal bench, motioning you to sit down next to him. He gently ran the soft fabric over your arms and hands, wiping the water off in small motions. Kirishima brought the jacket up to your chin and lightly patted the water off of your jaw. You saw the way his ears reddened while he carefully brushed the cloth over your cheek. You felt nervous again. He was just a couple inches away from your face. You gulped and suppressed the feeling of wanting to pull away from embarrassment. You felt your cheeks warm up under his sudden bare touch. Kirishima was in a gaze. He moved his gaze over your cheeks, nose, lips, eyes. You were breathtaking. He brushed your damp hair out of your eyes before cupping your cheek with his palm. Can I? He whispered under his breath, thinking that maybe if he spoke too loud, he would frighten you and you would run away from him all over again. He hesitantly moved closer. You froze and felt your heart thumping wildly against your chest as he leaned in towards you. Could he... What? What was he trying to do? He softly trailed his thumb over your cheek as the tip of his nose brushed yours. Your eyes fluttered closed and you squeezed your hands together in your lap just before his lips pressed onto yours. A rush of warm air filled your chest as you shut your eyes tightly. Tingles erupted over your body. The feeling of his lips on yours was inexpressible. They were warm and welcoming, much unlike the rainstorm. They made you feel warm and safe. Kirishima pulled away suddenly, practically jumping away from you, and his hands retracting from your face. He seemed to snap out of his daze, only now realizing he had kissed his friend. You were both breathing hard, staring at each other, processing that you both liked each other. Sorry, I didn't mean to... I didn't mean to kiss you like that. I don't even know how you feel about me right now. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have... What was I thinking? I'm really sorry. He seemed to blurt out at a rapid pace. Panic was clear on his face, along with the redness that reached from his cheeks to his ears. He apologized over and over, feeling guilty, thinking he may have overstepped a boundary. You laughed and reached out to place a hand on his forearm to stop him from getting on his knees to bow an apology. It's fine, Kirishima. I liked it, you hesitantly said to the flustered man as he looked at you with surprise. You did? Why, I thought you hated me. Kirishima questioned. Why on earth would I hate you, idiot? You scoffed lightly. Still, you felt relieved to finally be open with him about this situation. I don't know. He jumped onto his feet. You were avoiding me the past few days. I felt like maybe I did something wrong and you didn't want to talk to me anymore. The lights in his eyes seemed to dim out slightly, and his shoulder slightly sagging. Oh my goodness, if I were mad at you, I'd tell you that. I was staying away from you because I always get embarrassed. You admit. Kirishima sat down next to you and processed what you said before turning to look at you with wide eyes. Embarrassed? Why would you be? It's because I'm in love with you, you muttered quietly, looking down at your shoes, feeling flustered again. You could feel his eyes watching you. You what? He stared at you as his face reddened again. You like me? But I'm so boring. He looked genuinely confused. You covered your face with your hands, laughing softly. Never mind, Kirishima. You brushed it off casually. Come on, look, the rain has stopped. We should get going now. You looked up at the night sky. The dark, scary clouds had flown away, and all that was left was the calm silence of the night. You turned around to look at him. He was still confused as to how you had a crush on him. He really couldn't believe it. He let out an exasperated laugh before standing up. Hold on, he said to you before placing his jacket around your shoulders. There you go. This should keep you warm until you get home, he said, sighing as he looked down at you with a soft smile on his face. You smiled back at him, unspoken words of adoration and love between the two of you. Kirishima picked up his book bag before swinging it over his broad shoulder without breaking eye contact with you. You watched from your peripheral view as his thumb and index finger came to tilt your chin up at him, but he seemed to stop midway before moving up to simply pat your crown of your head. He held the soft, fluffy locks of hair between his fingers. He always loved the way your hair felt and looked. Oh, hey. He retracted his hand from your head, suddenly feeling awkward. What if we went on a study date during this weekend? Or, it doesn't have to be a date. I would love for it to be, but I mean, it's your decision really. We can just make it a study hangout or something. Kirishima stuttered out, unsure whether you would agree or not. You chuckled softly at the way he was so flustered around you. Had you not noticed before? Sure, we can make it a study date then, you agreed softly. His face lit up in the biggest smile you'd ever seen. Okay, cool. We can talk about the details later though. It's getting darker and darker by the minute, Kirishima reminded you. Right, here, wait, you said, and you stepped next to him. went up on your tiptoes before pressing a kiss to his cheek. Bye, Kirishima. I'll see you tomorrow. You scurried away, leaving him as red as his hair, as he stood alone at the bus stop with a hand on the cheek you kissed. Bye, he breathed out, loving the feeling of how his heart beat whenever he was around you. He started on his way home, processing what had happened ever since he both left the school grounds, as he smiled softly to himself. Alright, so that's the end of this one. I hope you enjoyed. All the links will be in the description. I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, whatever, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye!